Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Ryder here. I wanted to give some responses to questions that I've been receiving. I know I said I'd do a video Monday night, but so much has happened in between then and now that here I am. And I actually have a few more questions to answer, so I'm just going to hit them all at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we will get busy here. All right, tables and figures. If you see up top here, I'm using the link for OWL Purdue. It's one suggested by ACE, and it's one that most of us have been familiar with through all of our academic practices, at least I have, and they stay up to date pretty well between 6th and 7th edition. There's a couple things that I want to point out for the sake of our course. You're not required to do any tables for the SOC 6041, or RES6041, sorry. But I wanted you to see it. Because we know APA has its foibles and sometimes things aren't always as obvious as we'd like them to be, I wanted to point out how we are seeing what to replicate. The titles. For the sake of Module 3 assignment, I have another video for that. It's already in the Art of Academic Writing discussion section. That's not a required discussion section. I put the links there just so they're handy for everyone. So please check that out. I also have one on in-text citations. And yeah, so hopefully that can just share some insights to our assignments. I'm going to talk fast because I don't want to take too much of your time, but I want you to see what needs to be seen. The way the titles are presented. Number one, when you have a table, you need to introduce it in the content paragraph previous to. So table one includes the subheading, column spanner. I'm just reading to make a sentence. What do we see here? We see that this actual title needs to be in italics. We have a subheading for the title. Then we have the title of the table itself in italics. We don't have any vertical lines in this table. Everything is spaced very particularly. All right, since we don't have a table in our assignments during our time together, I'm going to go scroll down. Again, as you can see, I'm just scrolling down to figures. Here we go. There's more examples. Now, great to learn in about OWL Purdue. It's always telling us and showing us. Preparing them, the figures, different things, readability. You'll want to know that for later on if you're doing like Venn diagrams and other things like that. It does need to be legible. Sometimes the smart images and very amazing tools like that make the font so small it's hard to read. So keep that in mind. I'm just going to keep scrolling down. When you see this figure, same thing. It has its own subheading, and it'll be a level 2 heading. So just keep that in mind. Then it has the title of the actual figure. Check out this note. The notes are great, and you'll need this for Module 3. So I was asked about tables and figures, or it was mentioned in the discussion, so I thought I'd just include this. Look at what it's showing you. Note is italicized, but the information that the note is detailing for the reader is not. The title for the figures italicized. And so even though the assignment says provide an image, in APA format, images are figures. So keep that in mind, and I know I have that demonstrated in the Module 3 assignment video. Okay, let me do the other one because I have the same thing. I went here. It might as well just stick here, I guess. So the information I shared, see how it's boxed here? It's because I had it in another PowerPoint because Dr. Guy White, who's a dissertation coach, you can find him online. You don't have to. That's who taught me this particular structure for dissertation writing because we're practicing for that. It's good to understand it's very similar to the meal plan that ACE provides in our course. When you're getting to a larger collection of sources and you're getting into your bigger topics, which is why I'm giving you this now, so that when we're in Module 4, you're probably going to have 8 to 10 references by then. Yeah, at least. So, and don't get worried about that. It's just the nature of the progress because we're also going to be dealing with theoretical framework choices, which is also just choosing, because we're practicing, choosing a theory that is interesting to look at with our topic or your topic choice for our time together. When you have a collection of, okay, I'll answer two things. Number one, yes, include Module 1 information. You now have references that back up your understanding of the topic. Well, you still have that same topic in Module 2, so use those sources because you're still going to have to explain your topic. You will not necessarily copy and paste Module 1 or use that document because they're separate, but that information will be carried forward. So I'm not telling you to copy and paste because you're going to want to make sure it stays in the context of Module 2. Most of it will be very similar, but we're not comparing two articles in Module 2. We're only working with a new one. We're adding to what we learned in Module 1. So you're going to go find another source that matches your topic, that helps you understand, and you're going to paraphrase. I suggest a study because it gives you a lot more to talk about, because you can paraphrase the setting, the participants, the methods, all of that type scholarly articles and dealing with studies, peer-reviewed studies. It gives you a lot to talk about because you have 2 to 3 pages to fill. So so in other words, pick something interesting that has a lot of parts to paraphrase. When we're paraphrasing, think of knowing that you are going to paraphrase in relation to your topic choice. What you want to know, what you're extracting for the benefit of your understanding from that study. It doesn't have to be a super deep understanding, like we don't have to go, meditate on it or anything. We're simply extracting the most important information. One thing I mentioned in some feedback and in discussions is that when we're looking to paraphrase, here's what I suggest. Here's what I do. Doesn't mean you have to, but it's worked pretty darn well for me. Read the conclusion first. See where they ended up. Conclusion first. Because then, all right, let's see how they came to that. Because it's peer reviewed, we know it's vetted. If it's vetted, we know we should be able to follow the process from front to back, abstract to conclusion. We have the most important pieces. The other information in the middle, theoretical frameworks, super important. What lens are they looking through? I got a great slide for that. I use this all the time. What lens are they looking through? We can all look at a topic with a different theoretical idea, like what if I'm going to use if y'all remember social intent, structural functionalism, like the scaffolding of something, the building blocks, or the symbolic interaction of something is how someone is personally relating to a topic. There's a whole monster package of theoretical choices. I'm just pulling these off the top of my head for the sake of giving you an example. So yes, we are going to use this structure along with the meal plan. Oops. My goodness, I'm on a roll now, so I don't want to have to record this again. So because I'm really not into editing, just let's work with me, okay? Here's where we at. So for your topics, yes, to answer one other person's question, yes, we're going to include our Module 1 information, but we are going to package it to the Module 2 assignment. Think that through and send me any questions when you have them. Evidence is support. What is the assignment asking for? What am I finding? And how am I providing it? So you're not going to have, this is a paragraph. Then you have sections, which are like your introduction is the main idea of the assignment. Your evidence analysis is going to be the body, if you want to expand it to the whole essay, the body of that essay. And then your conclusion is everything you learned and how you package it up. When it says lead out for a paragraph, what it's really doing is this: setting up the next logical point, which is why I wanted to show you this. We're not writing dissertations in our class, but we're practicing and getting used to the idea that every paragraph, when we go to write it, is going to have a goal. That goal is to share the information that's most pertinent to the essay, most pertinent to your topic, and where you're at in that conversation. We also know how to place things in a logical order of information. So please keep these things in mind. Was there anything else? I believe that's all I said I was going to share when I was talking about making this video. Here is my contact information. And thank you for accommodating my clumsiness, because I need to go get all your papers assessed and that'll be done by the end of today. So My office hours are every single day of the week from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Yes, I have them set on that way on purpose because I know all the students are full-time life. Life is happening full-time. Many of us have, or you have 8 to 5 positions to which I would like to be available when you're not actually having to be at work. So reach out to me when you have questions. Thank you so very much, and I will talk to you later.